Hello rat bags, it's Jade. Welcome to a DAYZ update video. You guys know I've not been very happy with DAYZ at all, slating it for the problems and issues and basically how much of a cash grab Livonia, the DLC, the paid DLC that's going to be coming out soon, is in my eyes. Nevertheless, I want to make sure I give this game a fair shout. I love playing this game, I just can't stand the bugs, problems and issues with it. So update 105 is ready for Xbox and PlayStation right now. Go and download it. I'm going to be downloading it onto my server. I'm going to be wiping my server for a fresh start, and we're going to be giving it a fair shot and seeing how much the improvements go to making DAYZ an experience that I really want to get back into. I'm going to briefly go through the stuff you need to know. It's 8 GB roughly. Xbox it says 8 GB, and then on PlayStation it's like 7.77 something. So 8 GB across both. The new update brings you an expansion on the DAYZ system, introduces the vaulting and climbing, and they've got the 2 new pistols, brand new assault rifle, brand new vehicle, and pretty much lots to do with the DAYZ. The Mlock 91, otherwise known as the M-Lock, is a semi-automatic pistol fed from detachable magazine. You'll find this a lot in Chinaris, police stations, etc. It uses 9x19mm rounds. The MK2 is a semi-automatic integrally suppressed pistol. It has a detachable magazine using .22 LR rounds. It's both silent and lethal against short-range targets without armour. The KAS-74U is a shortened version of the KA-74 assault rifle. Usually comes with a side-folding metal shoulder stock, and from what I tell, they reckon this is going to be something akin to being like a civilian sort of submachine gun. So again, you might find this a lot around places like police stations, etc. New and improved weapon attachments, the new LR rounds, the Sarka 120, another vehicle that doesn't really offer anything different from what's already there. Hopefully they've fixed the issue with travelling over a certain amount of miles speed and the car just basically blowing up. Vaulting is really the game changer. That's something I've been really excited about trying out and seeing how it really is. You've seen me do a showcase video last month on PC, but now it's on Xbox and PlayStation on a live environment with a proper server. Be interesting to see how it plays out. How's it going to make combat change with other players? Medical changes. Food poisoning now is a big thing. Balancing of cholera and salmonella diseases. This has gone back and forth in the last month. Lots of players are unhappy. It seems a bit too OP and punishing. Balancing health regeneration and bleeding, improvements and fixes to the medical systems and items. I'm going to show you some of the patch notes that have been going forward as part of the PC update for that. Dead player bodies persist longer and decay over time. That's the brand new feature. You will start seeing bodies, as you saw in the trailer, start just moulding and going yucky. Big news, they've added the character creation screen at last. The toggle for the MVG and head torch via the quick slot menu is there. The devs have put a handy little GIF together just showing how it all works. So literally go and press the back button or the emote button, the wheel, and there you can see you can do it like that. It's going to be on top and you can choose which one you want to set up to light. It's a bit fussy. It's a shame they couldn't think of another little button just to press or just a quick shortcut placing and pressing it. But it's better than nothing, at least it works. The MV goggles haven't actually worked on top of your head for absolutely months. The only thing you could do with it was hold it, and even then there was issues, people still couldn't turn it on properly. Aim helper switching options, new pistol M-Lock, etc. We've gone through that. Smooth the movement of items thrown from the thrower's point of view. Foley sound for base radio. Window destruction sounds for vehicles. Suicide functionality for bayonets. Bleeding effect on melee suicides. Infected wearing a head torch now have it switched on. Torches can be soaked up with gasoline, but only if it's not ignited yet. Dead bodies decay over time. The stamina bar now blinks when a player doesn't have enough stamina to perform an action. Cholera has a chance to appear in water bottles and canteens when initially spawned. They've fixed a bunch of stuff wrong here, and I do want to go through just a few of these. Characters' physics speeds. Grenades couldn't be thrown through windows. Saline bag and blood bag weren't working. You couldn't use bayonets to cut off bark or cut down bushes. Players not being able to move after spraying disinfectant. Items being looted through walls using the inventory vicinity. Items in hand could disappear if the player was saved in the vehicle. Grenades were dealing much less damage to players browsing their inventory. Attachments weren't damaged by explosions. The player weapon could disappear from its hands when climbing a ladder. Stated doors could get desynced upon server restart. They've fixed opening and closing doors in third person in vehicles. Car headlights now working correctly, they should be. Body parts were not rendering from certain distance. Affected now only chasing non-dynamic targets. Cholera only triggered vomiting once per session, that's been fixed. Weapons dropped from killed players' hand would become ruined, and infinite bleeding from corpses. They've also fixed bandanas now working as clothing, and lots of stuff to do with audio and gunshots not working correctly. They've changed a lot with the saline and blood types. Basically, hopefully it's all working out. It should be now. So you can get a hemolytic transfusion reaction. Sights misalignment configured for weapons and their attachments. That was a big problem. Lots of people saying it was off center when aiming. Ambient loot can now also spawn in rotten and dried states. Randomizing fruit and mushroom spawning. All restraining items now receive a certain amount of damage when removed from hands, even without a tool. Car crashes will now decrease the player's health. Despawn time for dead bodies and animals increased. Bullet damage is reduced with longer bullet travel time. They've lowered the regeneration rate of the character's health, but they've also meant that you can actually move around a little bit even if injured. Reduced damage and shock value received from infected. Yay, no more being literally knocked out by a zombie, yet taking 20 punches from a player. Slightly increased chance for a bleeding source from an infected attack. Fist attacks now cause less health damage and shock. Drinking from wells and ponds should no longer get the player replenished so fast. Increased chance of low tier pistols to spawn with weapon attachments. Spawning of LAR attachments and VSD parts attached at spawn. Proper fixed the throwing animations or tweaked them. It's going to take you 4 times as long to grow a beard. Who knew that was a thing? Refueling a power generator does not require precise looking at its fuel tank. Drastically reduced unarmed attack damage to worn clothing. Removed the crafting attachments from the barrel. The leather sewing kit can no longer be used for treating injuries, and treating injuries using the sewing kit now takes 20% instead of 1% of the item's quantity. They've tweaked salmonella, they've lowered the stomach volume threshold for vomiting, increased the vomiting chance, added the removal of water and energy when vomiting. Over time, water drain is going to be added. It's going to lower the stomach volume threshold for vomiting, increase chances of vomiting, added water and energy removal when vomiting. Fresh spawn player loadout, road flare switch for chem light of random colour, increased blood loss from bleeding sources. Bandaging using a rag or bandana no longer causes the wound infection because wound infection had no effect on player characters. All pants can be wrung out now. And at last they've added a ban list for private servers. That is it. That is so underwhelming. The biggest thing we've wanted since most people are now playing on private servers is more options. To be able to spawn items in, to be able to at least teleport across the map to certain spots. But I guess it's a start. At least we've got something now where we can actually ban list players. So if you're a server owner, I'll show you guys how to do that soon too. So if you're on your actual server itself, your DAYZ server on Xbox or the PlayStation, if you go all the way to the bottom of the general settings, you'll find the ban list. It does look like you're going to have to put the player ID number in. So I'm presuming that's going to show up when you're in game, but I'll test that out thoroughly and show you guys. But it might require you to get the name from playing it in the game because there's no admin commands, and then popping it in here or the actual player's name itself. So all in all, some good stuff. Hopefully lots of them fixes are going to make this much more enjoyable experience for me. I do love playing DayZ. There's nothing better than coming across some random, or that feeling when you get loads of loot, loads of gear, and you're just like ready to conquer the world. But there's just so many problems with the game. It really puts me off playing it. So, as you saw, I've just restarted my server. If you want to come and join my server, you can do. The server password is going to be non-existent. Now I can ban players. We're just going to leave the server as open. More details though when the server gets shut down and any issues, make sure you join my Discord. So the servers will be down for the update and should be up in an hour. So hopefully by now they should be up. And that is it. Let me know what you think about the update. Is this a game changer, having climbing and vaulting in the game? What is that going to mean for you now surviving in Chernarus? I will see you rat bags for another update video very soon.